come up in the flow that we're doing today. Just double checking, give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. Perfect. And it's called half moon pose, and it's a little bit tricky, not too tricky, but I just want to show you, because if there's something you can grab at home that you can use for this pose, that might not have been something you thought you could use, it will be helpful. So basically, you want to have something that you can put your hand on so that you can, it's quite tricky for me to balance, so that you can lift up this leg with the hip open. And you can keep your hand on your hip here, but so that your legs and your arms are all straight. Because if you try to do it, perhaps you can't straighten that leg. Okay? So it could even be like a can of baked beans, but just something for when that pose comes up, you're not going to be struggling. It could be, can of baked beans. It could be, books are always useful, but obviously if the books are quite thin, it might be a little bit wobbly. So just make sure you've got something. Worst case scenario, you don't have anything, you just do it with a bent leg. It's just a little bit harder because obviously you've got a bit of wobble and suspension rather than being able to really lock out that leg. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my music today, so I'm going to start that now. Okay. Let's all find our way to a comfortable seat. Stick your bottom onto a book or a cushion or a block, whatever works best for you, so that your lower back is nice and spacious and you're not kind of rounding, and so that your knees aren't really high. You want those knees to be nice and soft. Soften your shoulders down your back. Close the eyes down. Palms can rest the knees or the thighs, up or down. And let's take 3 clearing breaths. So in through the nose. 2 more. In. Once more. Breathe in and let it all go. And then just close the eyes if they haven't already closed. Feel the lips and begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Tuning into your breath. So coming towards the end of our day, you might have had a pretty intense day already this week. Might already feel like it hasn't just begun. So just take time, let all of that go. Don't present yourself with any expectation or any pressures. Just whatever comes up is perfect. Gently bring your palms to press together at your heart space. Soften the shoulders, feel the sternum draw up, feel the heart open, feel the chest expand, and take a moment to set an intention. Something you want to focus on at this moment in time, whether it's this kind of day, this week, this month that we're in, whatever it is that's drawing your focus, use that for your practice, to help you practice within your practice, to help you focus within your practice, so that you can kind of find an ekagrata, is what we call it, which means a single pointed focus, which helps us to meditate, to find a moving meditation. And perhaps there's also someone or a group of people that you would like to offer this practice to, practicing selflessly. So as well as all the physical benefits that you get from a yoga practice, you have that little thread of mindfulness that flows through. Just remembering all of that, picture all of that in the forefront of your mind, that person, that cause, that intention. And then just blinking the eyes open. We're going to reach the arms into the sky as we inhale. Take your right hand onto your left wrist, and as you exhale, just look forwards and side stretch over to the right. Keep drawing that left sit bone down. Inhale, come back to the center. Switch the grip, side stretch to the left. Perhaps turning your gaze up towards the sky. Once more each side, inhale. To the right, exhale. And just see what it feels like here to draw your left elbow up towards the sky a little bit. Perhaps that gets you a little bit more space through the intercostal muscles, space between the ribs. Come back to the center, inhale. Switch the grip, exhale. And again, imagine someone's got a little fish hook on your elbow and they're drawing that right elbow up. And then come back to the center, inhale. Release your hands down onto your thighs as you exhale. Now you might want to close your eyes here. Imagine your spine is like a big wooden spoon and you're stirring a pot of treacle, thick treacle, as you start to move your spine in these kind of lateral 360 movements, as if you're stirring that pot. Closing the eyes if that feels good, and you can kind of make this as big or as small as you like. The aim of the game is just to find some space, perhaps in your shoulders, perhaps in your spine. And when you've done a few rounds in one direction, take it the other way. So there's this flexion and then there's this rounding, as we just find space all the way through our torso. And just moving a bit of energy, especially if you spend a lot of the day kind of sat still. Or even if you haven't, if you've been quite active, you might be stiffening up, and we're just softening it all before we continue. And then start to make those circles a little bit smaller until you find stillness. And then from there, take an inhale, bring the fingertips behind you to face away from you. Exhale. Then as you inhale, press into the fingertips, lift the chest, really squeeze the shoulder blades together, soften the chin and feel a stretch across the chest and through the back of the neck. Take 2 more breaths, inhale. You're coming into a bit of a back bend. 1 more breath. And then bring your hands, the heels of the hands to the tops of your knees, and reverse it as you exhale. So you're pulling the belly button towards the spine, doming your shoulders. And then come back to neutral. Take an inhale. Exhale. From there, rolling over your knees, moving any blocks, cushions, or books out of the way, and just find your way into a tabletop position. So knees below hips, wrists below shoulders. We'll just take 3 very simple cat-cows. So drop the belly, arch the back, look forward as you inhale, feeling that little back bend. And then exhale, reverse it. Look to your belly button, lengthen your tailbone twice more. Inhale, drop the belly, draw the shoulders back, reach the heart forward. Exhale, scoop it in. Once more, inhale. Exhale. And then come to a neutral position. So from here, I want you to extend your right leg out to the side. So I'll just face you and show you what that will look like, so that you've got the ankle in line with the knee, in line with your hip. And then from there, pressing to the outer edge of that right foot, press into your right hand and reach your left arm into the sky. Then as you exhale, thread it all the way underneath. Come onto the left shoulder, the left cheek, the left ear. And then from there, reach the right arm into the sky as you inhale. Now you can just take the right hand to the lower back, or if you've got some space, you can perhaps hook it around maybe towards your left hip or your left inner thigh. And then your intention is to kind of reach the left fingertips towards that right foot. Some of you may be able to reach the instep of the foot, maybe adjusting the positioning slightly. Otherwise, just press into the back of the left shoulder and open that right shoulder even more. Take 1 more breath, inhale. Release the right palm back to the mat as you exhale. Now press into the right palm, sweep the left arm up as you inhale, and come back into that tabletop, but still with the right leg extended out to the side. Now we'll do those cat-cows with that leg extension. So take an inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, feeling into that right hip socket. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. Again, it's that rotation of the thigh bone in the hip. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, scoop it in and dome. Once more, inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, scoop it in and dome. Then come back to neutral and gently bring your right knee back in, coming into a traditional tabletop. Now we'll take it to the other side. So extend the left leg out, directly out to the side. Left hip, left knee, left ankle in the same line. Really push to the outer edge of that left foot. Then press into your left hand and sweep your right arm up as you inhale. Thread it underneath. Come onto that right shoulder, right cheek. And again, perhaps the fingers reach the foot. If they don't line up, don't quite worry about it. Left arm reaches into the sky. You can take it to the lower back, or you can take it all the way behind you. And just breathe here, pressing into the back of that right shoulder and opening that left shoulder as much as feels right. Draw your lower belly in so you've got more space for this rotation. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release your left hand back to the mat. Press into the left hand and sweep that right arm back into the sky. Inhale. And then release the right hand. Exhale. So again, keeping the left leg there, we do those 3 cat-cows. So you inhale, arching the back. You feel that thigh bone move in the hip socket. Exhale, scoop, tuck tailbone, dome. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale, scoop it all in, lengthen the tailbone. Once more, inhale, exhale. Really nice. Now gently bring that left knee back in, tuck your toes, take an inhale. And as you begin to lift your knees, bring your stomach towards your thighs as you press back. And you're in a down dog, but it's supercharged. So your stomach is on your thighs, your knees are quite deeply bent. And this is a really nice kind of way you feel that potential in your legs. So lengthen your sit bones. Now keep pressing into your hands, hug your belly button in, and perhaps you can start to extend your legs, but don't feel that you need to have them fully straight. You go into a down dog with a little bit of softness in the knees if that's better. Maybe you walk the hands a little bit further away if you feel like you want to space it out a little bit more. Now really spread your fingertips nice and wide and press the palms like little sucker pads into the mat. And if in doubt, turn your fingers out. So make sure those index fingers are pointing forwards, not inwards. Have a little pedal here. So alternating the bend of the knees, perhaps a sway of the hips, stretching through the toes, waking up the soles of the feet. Okay, then from there, come high onto your tiptoes. Begin to walk your feet behind your wrists and find your way to a forward fold ragdoll. So feet hip distance, deeply bend the knees. So again, the stomach is resting onto your thighs. Now you can either hold opposite elbows and just let the weight pull you forward. Really relax your neck. Or if you want to open the shoulders more, take the hands behind your back into a fist and let the arms come forward. And if you're quite tight in your shoulders, you can hold a t-shirt between your hands or a strap if you've got something to hand. And really make sure that the weight is coming forward into the front of the feet and you're not locking out into the back of the legs. Let yourself drop forward here. We want to fill a bit of space into our hamstrings. Relax the neck, perhaps give it a little shake, maybe even flubber the lips if you carry any tension in the jaw. Then releasing any binds from here. Bring your right hand into the center on a block if you need. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg and reach your left arm into the sky. So it's like a twist. Then release the left fingertips or hand. Bend the left knee, straighten the right leg and reach the right arm up. Do this once more each side. Inhale, right hand down. Exhale, left arm up. Inhale, left hand down. Exhale, right arm up. Release the right hand. Bend both knees. Press into the feet, chin to chest, and begin to rise up. Super, super slow. Pressing down into your feet to let that be the force that lifts you up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Closing the eyes, resist the temptation to adjust the clothes or the hair. Take an inhale, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, back and down as you exhale. Standing here nice and strong. This is called Tadasana, which means mountain pose. So really feel like that proud and stable mountain. If you need to bring the feet more hip distance, you can do so. Otherwise, bring them together if that feels okay in your lower back. Big toes touching, little space between the heels is quite a nice kind of variation to take. Now let's take 3 breaths before we move. Breathe in through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Open the eyes if you haven't already. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Lift the gaze, look to the fingertips. Exhale, soften the knees as you forward fold. Take a halfway lift. The legs extend, the spine lengthens. Then exhale, fold forward again. Knees can bend if they need. We're going to rise to stand. Sweep the arms all the way up. Inhale. Fold all the way back down as we exhale. Learning to link that breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Once more, rise to stand. Inhale. Fold all the way down. Exhale. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Soften the knees, hands flat. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. And we're going to hold our high plank. So set it up. Make sure your hips aren't too high. Pull up your knees, pull up your quads, and engage your bandhas. So the feet are a bandha. The pelvic floor perineum is a bandha. The lower belly is a bandha. The arms and the shoulders are active. Take one more breath. Inhale. Drop your knees, lower your belly to the ground, untuck the toes, exhale. Now squeeze your elbows together as you reach your heart forward. Inhale, find a little back bend, then exhale, bottom to your heels, child's pose. Take a breath in your child's pose. Inhale, exhale. Glide into a tabletop. Inhale. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Exhale. Let's take 3 breaths here. Really tune into that steady metronome. Inhale. Breathing in for 2. Exhale. Breathing in for 3. Exhale. Inhale, lift your heels, look forwards, step the right foot forwards. Meet it with the left foot. Take an inhale, halfway lift, forward fold, exhale. Rise to stand, sweep the arms up, inhale. Release your arms by your sides, mountain pose, exhale. Let's do one more, inhale, arms up. Exhale is your forward fold. Take your halfway lift, really lengthen, draw the shoulders back, soften the knees, hands flat, step left, step right. Take an inhale, consolidate, drop your knees, lower all the way down, elbows bend backwards. Baby cobra, feel your back muscles lifting your heart. This time straight to down dog, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Breathing here for 3. Exhale. Draw your lower belly in and up for 2. Exhale. Move your shoulders back and down from the ears. Exhale. Inhale. Lift your heels. Look forward. Step the left foot. Meet it with the right foot. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Forward fold. Sweep the arms to the sky. Inhale. Release your arms by your sides. Exhale. This time, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Take your halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen. Soften the knees, hands flat. Step back to your high plank. You can choose not to drop the knees this time if you want to challenge yourself. Lower all the way down in one line. Perhaps it's an up dog if you're feeling ready. The glutes are on, the arms are straight, the thighs are off the mat. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now lift the right leg to the sky. Inhale. Come onto the tiptoes of the left foot, look forward, and step the right foot between the hands, lower the left knee down. Sweep the arms up for your low lunge as you inhale. Hold it here as you exhale. Now squeeze your right glute, draw your left hip forwards. Take one more breath, inhale. Hands to the top of the mat, exhale. Step to a high plank, or if you want to skip the vinyasa, go to a down dog. Otherwise, lower down, choose your back bend as you inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Tiptoes on the right foot, look forward, step the left foot up, lower right knee down. Reach the arms for your low lunge, inhale. Hold it here as you exhale. Now squeeze that left glute, feel the right hip pull forward. Take one more, inhale, hands to the top. Step back either to a plank or a down dog if you don't wish to vinyasa. Inhale as your up dog. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Relax the neck and jaw for 2. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. Now this time, bend your knees, look forward. You can either step or hop both feet to the top of the mat. Take an inhale, halfway lift, forward fold, exhale. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up, inhale, and we're gonna hold it here as we exhale. Now soften your shoulders away from your ears. Try to keep your arms nice and straight, but if you need to take them wider, because the shoulders feel compressive, take them wider. Lift your gaze. Draw your lower belly in and feel your sit bones drawing down towards the ground as you get the weight into the heels of the feet. Take one more breath. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale. Heel toe your feet out. Toes hanging off the edges of the mat. Bend your knees, malasana. Coming into that yogi squat. Now, if you need to step a little bit wider because you can't get your heels down, then do so. If you need to put your bottom on a block, please feel free. Otherwise, soften the shoulders. Press the hands and bring them to the sternum and push the knees out, but at the same time, squeeze the knees in. Lengthen the lower back, squeeze the glutes, pull the lower belly in. Taking one more breath. Inhale, exhale. Now release the palms to the top of your mat. Fingers point forwards. Keep squeezing your knees above your elbows, so up to your triceps. Now lift your bottom. Look forward, not down. So imagine your little turtle trying to get your head out of its shell. And then start to bring the weight into the fingertips. Squeeze the knees, push the triceps out, and maybe you can point the feet and perhaps hover the toes. Even if your feet don't come off the ground, scoop the belly in, dome the shoulders, and see if you can just look forward and lengthen. And just get a little bit of weight into the hands and out of the feet. If you fall out, just come back in. One more breath. Inhale, step or shoot the feet back. And you can go to a down dog or you can vinyasa as you exhale. Inhale as your back bend. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Now lift the right leg into the sky again as you inhale. Bend your knee and open up your hip as you exhale. Now hold it there. Think about squeezing the right heel to the bottom and lifting that right knee towards the sky. Keep pressing away equally with both hands. Take one more breath. Inhale. Then bring your knee to your right armpit. Keep your arms straight as you exhale. Inhale, lift it back into the sky. Bring your knee to your left armpit, twisting across the body. Inhale, lift it back into the sky. And as if you were doing knee to nose, place it between your hands. Help it with your hand if you need to. High lunge. Root down to rise up. Inhale. Hold it there as you exhale. Squeeze that right glute. Bring the left hip forward. Take one more breath. Draw the lower belly in. Release your hands. Step back either to a plank if you want a vinyasa or just go to your down dog. Remember the vinyasas, they make us stronger, but that's also the bit that uses up the energy. So if you need to skip them, skip them. Okay, left leg to the sky. Inhale. Bend your knee and open up your hip as you exhale. Squeezing the heel towards the bottom. Press away with your hands. Scoop your lower belly in. Taking one more breath. Inhale. Bring your knee to your left tricep now. Exhale. Inhale. Lift it into the sky. Bring it across the body to the right. Keep pulling the lower belly in. Inhale to the sky. Then place it between the hands. Exhale. Root down through the legs. Then rise up strong. Hold it there. If you feel wobbly, shuffle that left foot out a little bit. Keep drawing right hip forward. Squeeze that left glute. Take one more breath. Inhale. Hands to the mat. Either high plank to vinyasa or skip it and go to down dog. Inhale as your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Let it out the mouth if you need, guys. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Press away with the hands. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Okay. From there, soften your knees. Look forwards. Step or take a light hop to the top. Halfway lift as you inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Bend your knees. Sweep your arms up. Come back to that chair pose. Inhale. Then stand up tall. Exhale. And again, bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Take your halfway lift as you inhale. Hands flat, knees bend, step or maybe little hop. Go through your vinyasa, high to low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now lift the right leg to the sky. Inhale. Come onto the tiptoes of the left foot. And as if you were doing knee to nose, land the right foot between the hands. High lunge as you inhale. This time, open out to warrior two and ground the back foot as you exhale. Flip the right hand, reach forward, and take that arm up over for a reverse warrior. We're going to hold it here. So make sure you don't lose the bend in this right knee. Then options here, take the left hand behind your back and maybe find the t-shirt or the hip crease of the right leg. Make sure this left leg is super strong. Soften the right shoulder. The aim of the game is to find space through the right side body. One more breath. Inhale. Windmill the hands down to the top of your mat. And again, you choose high plank if you want a vinyasa, or skip it and go to your down dog. Otherwise, inhale, up dog. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Come onto the tiptoes of the right foot. Look forward as if you were doing knee to nose. Step it up. High lunge. Inhale. Stabilize. Warrior two. Ground both feet. Exhale. Flip the left palm. Inhale. Reach it up and over as you exhale. So primarily what's happening here, the right leg is strong and straight. The left leg is bending. Don't lose the bend just because you're reaching back. Maybe this right hand comes behind for a bind. Soften this left shoulder, but keep extending through the arm, finding space through left side body. Last breath here. Take a deep inhale. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat. And again, choose high plank. Exhale. Inhale for your back bend. Active. Exhale, down dog. Take 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Steady that breath. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely, guys. Now let's lift that right leg to the sky again. Inhale. Bend your knee and open your hip as you exhale. Now re-extend the right leg. Inhale. As if you were doing knee to nose, hug the thigh to the belly, step it up. Exhale. High lunge. Inhale. Open out and ground the feet. Warrior two. Exhale. This time, bring the right elbow to the right thigh and reach your left arm up and over. We're coming into our side angle pose. Now, soften this left shoulder. You want to melt the left shoulder, but keep extending through the left arm. Try to soften your floating ribs in so that you're lengthening the back. If you feel that you could go deeper, you're welcome to place a block to the inside of your right foot and take your right hand to the ground or to the block. Otherwise, just stay where you are. If you're using that elbow, press against the thigh so that you're not collapsing the right waist. So you're nice and strong. 2 more breaths. Keep reaching and keep pushing away with that back foot. Last breath. Inhale. Everybody bring the left hand to the left hip as you exhale. This is where you're going to need your block most probably, about a foot in front of that right foot. Step the left foot in a little bit closer if you need. Otherwise, begin to lean the weight into the right foot. Right hand comes to the block or to your can of beans or whatever it is you're using, and flex out through that left foot. Now your left hand is on your left hip because it's helping you open that hip. We're stacking the hips. It's an open hip position. Squeeze on that left glute to lift this left leg higher. Now flexing the foot will really help you to tone up the front of your body and allow you to balance. If you feel stable here, reach your left arm to the sky. If you feel stable there, can you look up to your left arm? Keep drawing the lower belly and watch out those right toes don't start to turn in. Keep them pointing to the top of your mat. Take one more breath. Beautiful balance. Inhale. Keep the left leg lifted, but release the left hand. We're going to come into a standing split pose. So if you've got 2 blocks or 2 cans of beans, you can bring one under each hand. Otherwise, just bend the right knee slightly. But keep that left leg really lifting. And you want to now get your hands closer towards your feet so that you're starting to bring your stomach to your thighs and maybe one day your forehead to your shin. And you can use the right hand to hold onto the right ankle to pull yourself down. Use your core to help you with this forward fold. Last breath, inhale. Now bring the hands down onto the mat, soften the right knee and step the left toes to the back of the mat. Now from here, press into the left hand and reach the right arm into the sky. You're in a little twist. Now I want you to come onto the outer edge of your left foot, lift your left hip up and see if you can place your right foot on top of your left for a side plank. If this is too much, drop your left knee to the ground and just use your right foot, or you can have both feet on the ground so you've got a little bit more surface area. Try to lift that left hip up, pull your toes back towards you because again that brings your core into alignment. Last breath. Deep inhale, slowly release the right hand. You can drop the knees if you need. Take your vinyasa, exhale, lower down. Inhale as your back bend, glutes active, core on, down dog. Let's drop down to our knees. Take a moment, inhale, child's pose. Exhale. And you can send your hands back to your feet if you want to release the shoulders. Just take a moment here. Just let that settle. So from here, we're going to open into our shoulders a little bit more. So reach your arms forward if you took them back, and then come forward so that your hips are above your knees. We're going to come into Anahatasana, melting heart pose. So you're physically melting your heart towards the ground. Forehead on the mat. Those of you that are very open, you can come on your chin, but relax the face. Now, like with the chair pose, don't bend your elbows, but if your shoulders feel tight, just take your arms out wider. And then feel that space across your chest and shoulders expanding and opening. Think about lifting the sit bones. 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now from here, you're going to slide your belly onto your mat so that you're now in a Sphinx pose. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, okay? Make sure they're not too wide. And just start to pull your forearms as you reach your chest forward. It's a little back bend that we're coming into here. Now I want you to keep your glutes on and your belly on to support the lower back so we're not dumping. Those of you that feel comfortable, you're welcome to press into your hands and straighten your arms, but not if that hurts your lower back in any way. Relax the backs of the feet and the backs of the legs. Squeeze the glutes, pull the core in to support the spine. Make sure those shoulders don't creep up to the ears. Draw them down. Now, if you can turn this into an up dog, you press into the tops of the feet and your thighs start to hover as you draw the hips forward. Otherwise, just stay in that Sphinx. Take 1 more breath. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Find your way to down dog. If you're in your Sphinx, bring your hands back and lift those hips. Take a breath in and out. Have a wiggle if you need to release anything in the lower back. Okay, let's do it all on the left, guys. Lift your left leg to the sky. Inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Exhale. Re-extend the leg, inhale. As if you're doing knee to nose, step it to the top, exhale. Root down through the legs, rise up, high lunge. Warrior 2, stabilize. Left elbow, left thigh, reach the right arm up and over. This is called extended side angle pose. Now we're looking to have a straight line from the outer edge of your right foot all the way through the outer seam, across to the tips of the right middle finger. Keep breathing where you are. And again, if you took it deeper, you're welcome to take that left hand down. Soften your ribs, so see if you can scoop the floating ribs in. Think about bringing the hip bones up towards the lower ribs, and that will lengthen the spine. 2 more breaths. Melt that right shoulder away from the ear. Press down into the left elbow to lift the waist. Last breath. Inhale. Right hand comes to the right hip as you exhale. Now get your block about a foot in front of your left foot. Step that back foot in closer if you need a little bit of a softer launch. Reach the left hand to your block or to the ground, your book or your can, and then really activate this right leg. Pull your toes back towards you, contract up the front of the leg and to extend the back. And then you've got that right hand on your hip, so peel your hip open. Make sure if you had a wall behind you, both butt cheeks would be touching the wall, not just the left butt cheek. And then just check, has your left toes started to turn in? Can you keep those left toes pointing to the top of your mat? If you're feeling stable, you can reach that right arm up into the sky, maybe even looking up to it. Keep breathing, use your core, use your glutes. 1 more breath, inhale, both hands to the ground. Keep that right leg lifted. You find your way into your standing split pose. So now we want to bring our hands as close towards our feet as possible. So bring those blocks or those books closer in. Maybe you can take a hold of your left ankle with your left hand and use that as a bit of leverage to draw your body and your forehead towards that left leg. And if you don't have any blocks, you can bend the left knee, but make sure this right leg is lifted and extended. Taking 1 more breath in your standing splits. Inhale, exhale. Now bring both hands flat to the mat, top of the mat. Bend your left knee and step the right toes to the back. Press into your right hand and sweep your left arm up. You're in a little open twist. Now roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Lift up that right hip and see if you can gently place the left foot on top for side plank. If you're wobbling, you can always separate the feet so they're both on the ground or drop your right knee to the earth. Now again, pull your toes back towards you to zip that front body in. Can you look up to that left hand? Extra challenge. Can you banana up your right hip even more? Take 1 more breath. Then as slowly as you can, the left hand releases. Drop the knees if you need or lower in 1 long line. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop your knees, child's pose. Sit back to your heels. Take a moment. Inhale. Let it all settle in. So we're going to do a little progression from that work that we did, Anahatasana, the shoulders, and into that sort of cobra or sphinx. And we're going to move deeper into the back bend work now. So from here, reach your arms forward and just come to lie down on your belly. All the way onto your belly. Relax your legs. Bring your arms by your sides and just turn onto your right ear or your right cheek. Now I want you to bring your big toes to touch. Oh, if you're pregnant, obviously you can't lie on your belly. I know we had a pregnant lady once before, so if you're pregnant, you can come to what I'm doing here, camel pose. So knees hip distance, kneeling up. I should have asked at the beginning. Otherwise, don't worry, you can lie on your belly. Okay, so big toes are touching. Your heels roll out so that your inner thighs lift up towards the sky and your sacrum broadens. It's a nice way just to release the lower back before we go into this back bend work. So from here, I now want you to interlace your hands into a fist behind your back. And if you can't do a fist, get your t-shirt or a strap. Then stretch the fist beyond your bottom and start to scoop your belly in as you lift your chest up. And try to use your back muscles. Rather than lifting your chin up, think about lifting the shoulders down and up. So soften your chin. So your gaze is still towards the earth. Then can you lift your legs at the same time? This is called Shalabhasana, locust pose. Really good for strengthening our back muscles. 2 more breaths. Lift the chest, lift the belly button off the ground, lift the legs. and then gently release. It's quite exhausting. Come to your left ear, left cheek, have a wiggle, let the heels roll out, the big toes touch, and broaden the sacrum again. Okay, we're going to keep building on this one. So now, staying with the ear on the ground, you can still relax the body. I just want you to flip so the palms are facing down, your thumbs are out, and then imagine that you've got something precious under your palms, so you're just on your fingertips, so there's space below your palms. Then from there, engage your glutes, engage your back muscles, and begin to lift your chest up. Keeping the toes on the ground, keeping the fingertips on the ground, keep reaching. Then from there, lift your legs up. Then bend your knees, lift your arms, and if you can reach your ankles, only if you can reach them, go for them. Otherwise, just keep reaching. Keep reaching and squeezing those hamstrings and opening that chest using those back muscles. Engage your glutes, lift your lower belly off the mats. And again, if you're doing pregnancy variations, you can just start to go a little bit deeper, bringing the hands towards the heels rather than on the lower back, with the toes tucked if that helps. Last 2 breaths, lift, 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 lift. 1 more, and then release. Turn to the other cheek. I think it's the left cheek we're on now. Right cheek, sorry. Thank you, Jules. And just take a moment here. Give the hips a little sway. Let it all go. Okay, we're going to do 1 more of these. Okay, so from here, start to reach the chest up and away from the ground. Start to reach the arms back. This time, if you can take a hold of the inside of the ankles, it's a slightly different rotation into the shoulders. If you can't even reach the ankles full stop, you just go for the reach and the contraction of the hamstrings. Keep breathing. If the inside of the ankles isn't manageable, stay with the outside. It's a little bit softer. And if you do have those ankles, really flex the feet and kick the feet back to lift the chest up. Last 2 breaths. 1 more breath, and then gently release. Now turn to the left ear, left cheek. Have a little wiggle. Then bring your palms flat either side of your chest. Press into your hands and take a child's pose. Sit your butt back. Let's take a moment to breathe. Back bends are always quite intense on the nervous system. So we let it settle. We let it ground. Taking a moment, whether it's the hands on the earth, the head on the earth, or a block under your head, just to connect. Just to take a moment to steady the breath. Really nice. Okay, from there, let's simply just find our way to a downward facing dog. Press into the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Okay, from your downward facing dog, lift the right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Re-extend the leg as you inhale. Now I want you to step your right foot outside of your right hand. Drop your left knee and then slide the left knee as far back as you can go and untuck the foot. So we're coming into a lizard lunge. Now make sure your right foot is on the edge of the mat and that it's not too far back. So your ankle doesn't go behind your knee. So roughly your ankle is in line with your wrist. Your knee is roughly in line with your shoulders, obviously depending on how long your shin bone is or how long your arms are. Now you can stay here if this is enough, or if you want to go deeper, maybe blocks underneath forearms, or if you can go straight to forearms, go straight to forearms. If the hands is too intense enough, lift the hands onto blocks, and that will just soften the pose. Now from here, I'm going to give you the option to go into a bind. So I would recommend, if you have gone onto the forearms, to come back onto the left hand, maybe even on a block, then reach the right arm into the sky as you inhale. Then take the right hand behind you, squeeze your left heel to your bottom, and see if you can reach the outside of the left foot, not the inside. Again, you can use a t-shirt or a strap, and it helps to look over the right shoulder to encourage the right shoulder to open. And then you kick the foot into the hand, you send the hips forward, and you feel this kind of little back bendy, twisty opener. And if that's all too much, just stay with your normal lizard for 2 more breaths. Gently release the bind. Try not to let the foot fling away. Everybody come back onto your hands. Now I want you to pull your hips back so that your right leg straightens. Then shuffle the right heel into the center so both hands are either side of that right leg now. Half splits. This is your half splits. Left hip is above left knee. Now, if you need to bring your hands on blocks, bring your hands onto blocks or onto your fingertips. I want you to draw your shoulders back and reach your chest forward. Pull up through your right knee and quad and make sure that the foot doesn't kind of wiggle to one side. Keep the toes pointing up, the kneecaps pointing up. And you want to feel this left hip draw forward and this right thigh bone pull back into the right hip socket. Last 2 breaths, stretching that right hamstring, maybe also the left quad. 1 more inhale, exhale. Now bend into the right foot, sole of the foot down, hands to the top of the mat, tuck the left toe. You choose down dog for no vinyasa or high plank if you want to take that vinyasa. Inhale, back bend if you took the vinyasa, exhale, down dog. Take 1 breath in. Let's take it on the other side. Left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip, re-extend the leg, inhale, step the left foot outside of the left hand, lower the right knee down, slide it as far back as is comfortable and untuck the right toes. Now make sure that you've got that left foot on the outer edge of your left side of your mat. And again, make sure that the ankle isn't beyond the knee or in front of the knee, it's nice and level. And then you've got your options here of your lizard. Stay as you are. Come up onto blocks or come down onto forearms and blocks or forearms with no blocks if that's available to you. And then you can just stay here. Get a big stretch into the left hip and groin. Also the front of the right hip flexor and quad, perhaps the right groin as well. Otherwise, if you want to go for that little bind, maybe come back onto the right hand, reach the left arm into the sky, and then windmill the left hand behind you. Contract the right hamstring as you squeeze the heel to the butt. And then make sure you're taking from the outside of the right foot, not the inside. And then as you send the hips forward, lean back and look over that left shoulder to feel a little bit of a spiral and an open across the chest. Really nice. Keep activating that left foot so we don't buckle on the left ankle. 2 more breaths in, out. 1 more breath in. Gently release the bind. Don't let the foot fling away. Then everybody come back onto their hands. Draw the hips back as you extend the left leg. Shuffle the left heel to the center. Hands either side of that left leg, half splits. Draw the shoulders back, reach the heart forward. Use your blocks. Feel that left heel digging into the mat and drawing back in as if you're trying to bring that left thigh bone back into the hip socket as you draw the right hip forward. Scoop your belly in, lengthen your lower back. Toes and knees of the left leg pointing up. Once more in and out. Now bend into the left knee, left sole of the foot down, hands to the top. Tuck the right toe, lift the knee, either down dog or high plank. You choose. Vinyasa if you wish. Glutes are active if you're taking that vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Really nice, guys. From your downward facing dog, you're going to come and find your way through to seated. Legs go long. Now, I would recommend sitting on a block if you know that your hamstrings are tight and you can't fold forward very well. From here, bend up the left leg so the sole of the foot is on the mat, and then place the left foot outside of the right thigh. Now, flex your right foot, hold around the front of your shin and pull your chest forward, roll your shoulders down your back. Now, keep hugging in with the right hand and take the left hand behind you. Then from there, either hook that right elbow outside of the left thigh, or if that's not available, just hold around the shin. Finding your twist. Pull your belly in and look over your left shoulder. And if you're feeling that you're leaning into that left hand and you're kind of not with a straight spine, then bring your left hand onto a book or a block. Keep flexing through that right foot so the toes are nice and straight, the hamstring is active. If you want to go for a bind, if you're very comfortable, the left hand can sneak behind your back. The right arm threads through the left calf and thigh, and maybe you can reach the fingers behind you, or use a t-shirt or a strap. Just hold on to your own t-shirt, trying to kind of gather those hands. Don't restrict the breath. Big inhale to lengthen, big exhale to twist. Once more, in and out. If you have any binds, release the binds. And then from there, take a de-rotation to the right. Now I want you to bring your hands behind you, fingertips facing away from you. Then keep this left leg where it is and bend up the right foot so the sole of the foot is on the ground. So you're in a kind of seated pigeon pose. Really flex this left foot and make sure you're not on the ankle joint. So the foot is off the edge of that right thigh, so it's free to move. There's no compression happening there. Then puff up your chest. If you need to bring it closer, you can bring your bum closer to the right heel. That will intensify. You should be feeling a big stretch into the left glute, the hip, the piriformis, all of that section of your pelvis. And keep moving this left knee away from you, but also feel it drawing out to the side a little bit. So again, you're finding a bit of space into that left hip socket. Last breath, inhale, exhale. Now turn your fingertips to point forwards, palms flat. You might need to move this right foot slightly further away. Press into the hands, press into the right foot, lift your hips up, but keep that figure of 4 with the legs. So you're in a reverse tabletop. You've got to really use the strength to press down into the right foot, to use the glutes to lift the hips. Imagine someone is pulling your hips up towards the ceiling. Don't let this left knee start to lift to the ceiling. Keep drawing the left knee down, but lifting up those glutes and hips. Don't let the hips drop below the shoulders. One more breath. Inhale. Slowly lower down as you exhale. If you've got any blocks in the way, move any blocks out of the way. Release that figure of 4 and find Navasana, your boat pose. So hold behind the thighs for a moment, puff up the chest, and then if you feel stable, you can release and reach the arms forward. Try to keep your ankles in line with your knees. We're here for 2 more breaths. In, out. Once more. In, out. Now take an inhale, cross the ankles, tip the weight forward, coming over, stepping or shooting the feet back, or miss it and go to down dog. We all meet downward facing dog. Let's take it to the other side. Find your way through to seated. So again, sit your bottom onto your block if you know that's going to assist you. This time, the left leg is extended and the right sole of the foot goes to the outside of your left thigh. Hold around the front of the shin and just lift your chest up so you've got that lovely long spine. We're not kind of collapsing. Then take the right hand behind you and you can either keep holding around the shin, or if you want to go deeper, you hook the left elbow outside of the right thigh. Now watch out, don't let this left foot start to get lazy. Keep flexing the left foot. Soften the shoulders. Use a block under the right hand if you feel like you're kind of leaning in or you can't quite reach. If you feel stable and your core is secure, take the right hand behind your back and then maybe thread that left arm between your right thigh and calf. But don't look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder. That helps that right arm to reach around and get closer to the left fingertips. Or hold on to your top. Really nice, guys. Inhale, pull the belly in, find length. Exhale, twist. 2 more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Release. De-rotate to the left. Come back to the center. Hands behind you. Fingertips face away. And then bend up the left sole of the foot and find your figure of 4. So this should be that stretch into the right glute, right hip, right piriformis. Flex through the right foot to protect the right knee, and then see if you can move that right knee away from your torso, but also slightly out to the right. Puff up the chest, and if this is all too strong, move this left foot further away from you. Keep breathing here. 2 more. Last breath. Exhale. Now flip the fingertips to face forward. I recommend moving the left foot slightly further away. Press into the left foot, press into the hands, lift the bottom, reverse tabletop. Make sure your ankle is below your knee. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. Try not to let that right knee lift up. Drop the right knee down, but lift the right hip up. Use that hamstring. Really dig into that left heel. 2 more breaths. Last breath, slowly bring it down. Make sure there's no blocks in your way. Final Navasana boat pose. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. We're not going to vinyasa. We're going to release down onto our back. So inhale for 1. Exhale. Strong core and hip flexors for 2. Exhale. Soften the shoulders for 3. Exhale. Allow your face to smile for 4. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. Release it down onto the mat. Exhale. Hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Maybe forehead to the knees. Curl into a little ball. And then release. Shavasana. Amazing, guys. That's quite a strong practice. So take a moment to let your body relax. Put cushions or blocks under the thighs if it doesn't feel comfortable to have your legs straight. If you feel any discomfort in the lower back. Turn your palms to face up. Let those shoulders shuffle under. Soften your chin so the back of the neck is nice and spacious. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Sigh it out the mouth. And again, inhale. Flubber the lips, inhale. And just let go. Come back to that intention that you set or that dedication. Picture that cause or that person or those people. Safe in the knowledge that you've done your work. Now it's time to rest. The hardest part of the practice is finding stillness. We're not distracted by the challenge of the asana, of the poses. There's nothing to distract us other than our thoughts. So if those thoughts start to cloud your mind, just acknowledge them, but try to let them pass you by. And eventually we can elongate the space between the thoughts. Just taking a couple of minutes here of complete stillness. There's nothing more that you need to do. Just let go. Without opening your eyes, just begin to deepen your breath. Perhaps bringing a little bit of awareness to the fingers, the toes. Drawing your legs together, reaching your arms above your head. Take a full body stretch. Inhale. Gently bring your knees in towards your belly. Rolling to the right side. And with your eyes still closed, just gently press into your hands and push yourself to a comfortable seated position. Sit your bottom onto your block or your cushion. Bring your palms to press together once again. Take a moment, thank yourself for your efforts, for making time for your practice. No matter how hard sometimes it feels to come to the mat, it makes us stronger, it makes us healthier, it makes us happier, so we can direct our energy efficiently to all of the things that need our attention, all of the causes, all of the people that need our love and care. So thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through your practice. Bring your thumb knuckles to your third eye space between your eyebrows. Keep practicing, and all is coming. Jai. Namaste.